You're not gonna say hey folks to
You
start?
said you're gonna do the
Oh yeah, but
intro.
you're gonna say hey folks
That's
first, and
something
then
you gotta say. You gotta say.
okay.
Hey, folks.
Hi everyone, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of I don't even know what we call this show. I guess just answering your comments. And so yes, we have another episode today where we're going to be answering a bunch of your comments that you guys left. Thank you so much for the support on the previous videos because we did get quite a few comments, and I think we have some good discussions here. So
Absolutely.
let's keep it going. So let's start with the first question.
Here we go.
And so this is from Pit9009, and he says, "Is it only me, or is the new format of all these videos just more confusing? Especially with all those lines on one graph sometimes. I like the previous format with a couple videos a week, clearly targeting specific markets." So,
Well, there's a couple of points in there. One is that one chart with all the lines. I thought it was interesting to break down all the GTA, all the detached or all the condos, the whole GTA, and then we focus in on whatever cities in that segment we're talking about. If you find it confusing, I suggest that one chart that you don't like, skip past it right away. I would say that.
well, to be fair, I think all of the charts have stayed the same. You've just added those
I've added
charts
one or
in.
two charts, correct?
And the
Yep.
point of that was to be able to see the differences between all the areas,
Exactly.
right?
There's the cities that we're talking about in that show, and how do they compare to the neighboring cities around us? That's one. But then the whole format where we've taken condo out of the one
Toronto
show
video.
for Toronto video and for the York Region show and
Oh yeah,
for
we took it out
Peel
all of
and
them. Yeah.
Peel show. We made condos its own segment just because through speaking to a lot of people, plus our own experiences, very few people that are thinking, let me buy a condo or a detached house. They're either one or the other.
So I think our videos still target specific markets. We're trying to give as much data as possible.
And I think we've become more specific.
I think so.
Sorry you don't like the format. Believe me, it's a lot of extra work for us, but for now, we're sticking to it.
All right. So next question here, not question, but statement comes from Blazing Sniper 1239.
Blazing Sniper.
And they say, so to me, open bidding would make sense if you get a really nice offer and want to make others stop lowballing and step up their game. In the market now, perhaps they receive lots of low offers, so why tell new buyers about to put an offer who they're competing against, or I guess what they're competing against? I just think there is an environment where open bidding works out for the seller.
I think you're right. That's a logical approach, a logical strategy. I think you're right.
Now, do you think that, so if they did get one really nice offer, so let's say one offer is 1.5 million, all the rest of the offers are at 1.2 million, do you think that it would scare people away if they were to reveal, hey, we're at 1.5?
Yeah, but that would be the point. That's the point. Like, I mean, you don't need 50 offers. You don't need 20 offers. You need one really good one, and the rest is all trying to get that one really good one even higher. So if you think you're kind of maxed out already, if you're the seller, you think that offers you've maxed out, why not tell the top people, look, this is the number to beat, and let everybody know? I think it's a good strategy. And the reality is that probably happens behind the scenes anyways, even if it's not open bidding.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not supposed to, but that happens behind the scenes.
For sure. Okay, so next comment here is from Vert911. Vert911, and they say, words that have never come out of a buyer's agent mouth in Canada. And in quotes it says, we should be concerned what our offer appraises at. They are blinded by the thought of the commission.
Words that never came out of a buyer agent's mouth.
I could tell you right now that for some of our seller clients, we are a little bit concerned in terms of what those offers come in at and will they appraise, right?
It's Vert. I understand what you're saying. And in a lot of cases, it's probably true, but I can say in a lot of cases, it's not. I know it's not. We've had that conversation many times, not just with the buyer side. When I'm thinking, look, the realtor will not get paid if the whole thing is about commission. The realtor won't get paid if it doesn't close. So there are some realtors that are concerned. One, if it's only their commission we're talking about, yeah, they'll be concerned if it doesn't close because they know they don't get paid and they're counting on it closing. But then there's the realtors that treat their job serious, their position as consultants, and really are looking out for their best interest of their clients. And if it's not going to close, or if they don't think it's going to appraise, then they'll advise their clients and say, hey, you're going a bit high there. I don't know if it's going to appraise. This is something serious we need to consider. But not just on the buying side, on the selling side also. You're representing a seller and offers come in way higher than what would be expected. You got to also tell your seller client, I know you're excited about taking that offer, but if it doesn't close, if that buyer can't really close because they're overbidding and it doesn't appraise, and what's the point if it doesn't close? So these are real conversations that are happening. Some buyers or some buyer agents, let me say, maybe not, and listing agents, maybe not, but there's lots that are having that conversation.
And it's important too, because especially on the selling side, right? We've spoken to many people who, with everything going up and down and up and down, we've spoken to many people who have been in a situation where, they sold for a super high number, and because of that super high number that they sold for, they bought for a super high number too, and they had both those transactions closing within the same time. And when one doesn't close, it's just a domino effect for the remainder of the transactions.
It's a real life situation.
Right.
Part of the appraisal, the definition of fair market value, if that exists, maybe in a test tube somewhere, but fair market value would mean without any undue pressure or influence.
There's no pressure on the Toronto real estate market.
The buyer and the seller accepted those prices. Well, when a buyer's competing with 5, 10, 15, 20 other offers, it's kind of hard to say without any undue pressure.
True. Next question here. Sorry if I mispronounce this, but it's from Tarsim Jutla 6822. And they say in all caps, "Sir, where you get these graphs? Where do you get these graphs, Pa?"
From my laptop.
Yeah, right?
How did they get into my laptop?
That's the question.
So the Toronto Real Estate Board produces data. The charts, or the overall data that Toronto Real Estate Board produces is mostly monthly data. And then they've got the daily individual sales that happen on every single property, but they don't summarize those sales. So I literally go in and pull all the raw data and I summarize it in a weekly format. So I've got formulas set up, I've got all the tables set up, and I literally go in and pull the data, but it's not like I hit a button. I've got to go in and for every single number that's on the charts, it's another search to figure out what's today's average for this city, then the next city, then the next city, and so forth. But I pull the raw data basically and I figure it out.
And I think what's important to know about that too is because we do physically go in there and pull all the numbers for each week, we're able to specifically look at, what happened with certain homes and prices and things like that.
Absolutely.
So you're able to dive a little bit deeper as opposed to just having it kind of all laid out for you, right? You don't know if there was a home, let's say, when all the homes are selling for $1 million, there was one home that sold for 10 million, then your average price shoots up to whatever it is.
Next question, please.
So sticking on the same subject of appraisals here, Bill Owen 2475 says, "Santo, it was always my experience that the appraisal was done just before closing and not within the time that your financing condition hadn't been already waived. So having said that, I don't think financing condition is going to help you if the appraisal comes in low. Now, maybe this is more of a question for Anthony, but what are your thoughts on that?
I've seen it done both ways. Usually when the appraisal is done just before closing, it's not the buyer that's generated to see if we can get the financing. It's normally triggered from the lender side. Let's just say the bank. It's triggered from that side, especially when there's a turn in the market. When I say turn, I don't mean turn up, I mean turn down. So it's maybe triggered by the bank. Normally my experience is that when it's early on in the process, especially in the financial condition period, that's when, if you're using a good mortgage broker, they're going to lock everything in then. They got to organize the appraisal then. Because you're right, what's the point of doing the appraisal to see if you qualify? When you have no conditions, it's kind of too late. Well,
if you're doing a financing condition, the whole point is to see if you will qualify for this house,
that's
right?
That's the whole point. That's exactly the whole point. So you want to do it early on, and that's usually my experience in doing it early on.
Okay. And so now we have a comment here from Lori, or a question from Lori9423. And this was with regards to the video that we discussed where the buyer had gone into the property and they were doing some renovations to it, or they were painting it, I believe it was, and they noticed the sagging roof.
I remember that video.
Yes. And so her question was, wouldn't title insurance cover this?
Laurie, quick answer is no. That's not a title insurance thing.
Yeah, so title insurance covers a lot of stuff on, well, basically whatever's on title. But there are a few other things that they cover, but that's a discussion. We've actually wanted to get a lawyer on the on one of these episodes so that we can discuss more of that too. Lawyer or someone from a title insurance company.
Yeah, title insurance won't cover something like that.
Yeah, but so that's something we're working on. We're going to have a more in-depth conversation about title insurance one of these days.
Maybe we start a company, Workmanship Insurance, or Dum Dum Insurance.
I don't think we'd have time.
Can we get Dum Dum Insurance?
I don't know if we'd have the time to deal with everything that's going on.
Let's just remove all the walls. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Engineer. We don't need an engineer.
It's fine. It's artistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Timothy Irwin 9847, and this one actually had 15 likes, so a lot of people are interested in this question.
Does it have to do with commission?
No.
Does it have to do with realtors?
No. It says, where do we expect to put 1 million extra people every year?
Is that a question or a statement? Because
no, it's a question.
I don't have an answer. Right now, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we building 1 million extra homes every year?
Definitely not.
This is the problem. This is part of the problem. And I don't see a solution in sight. I see a lot of different people talking about it. Builders, government at each level. Everybody is talking, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But I just don't see a lot of things happening right now. So yeah, I don't see the housing shortage sorting itself out anytime soon. I actually see it getting worse if I had to speak my mind.
Next comment, Dashka6698. They say, hi Santo, you are doing an amazing job of running this channel.
Great, stop right there. Next question. Perfect. Thank you.
I really enjoy your videos and the insights. It's the right approach to keep yourself away from predictions for the future and staying neutral politically and otherwise. Keep it up.
Thank you. I try hard to stay neutral. I try hard to keep well, it's easy to keep politics out of it just because I'm maybe jaded, but it doesn't matter who's in charge politically speaking. They're all doing the same thing anyways, or are going to do the same thing. They all talk a big talk, and automatically oppose who's in charge, but then they do the same thing when they're. Anyways, that's another discussion. We don't want to make this politically. I do want to say something though on I'm doing a great job running the channel. Just so we're clear, I speak on the videos. I explain my charts to everybody. I'm very involved in putting all the charts and the data together and explaining and talking about the real estate. But I don't run the channel. This gentleman here, my son Daniel, he runs the channel.
Thank you, Dad.
Tries to keep me out of trouble for some of the things I say. You don't know how much stuff we cut out.
We should have like 5 minutes at the end of just bloopers for each video. I think
there'll be a lot of beeping. That's
for sure. So okay, so someone says that you're right to stay away from predictions and staying neutral as possible. But the next comment I have here is from a Peter Rasney 5718.
And he wants me to predict.
And yes, he says, I wish this guy would at least attempt to have an opinion and not just say it is what it is, like someone who benefited from all this greed and somehow magically forgot logic. What a shame. This it is what it is attitude is what's wrong with Canada in a nutshell, and it's just sad to see.
It is what it is.
My feelings are hurt with that. That's pretty harsh.
Some people in the comment section, man.
I'm just not going to predict, and I see my role as a consultant. I really do. And lots of people recently in the last few years have listened to predictions and look at the hot water it's gotten them into. Look at the mess we have now. So I try to stay as neutral as possible. I try to give the pros and the cons. If you're looking for a prediction, it's not this channel.
Well, the problem with predictions, and we talk about this all the time, is that people listen.
Yeah, that's the problem.
People listen
to the prediction,
right?
And they tend to blindly follow the prediction that kind of plays out the narrative that they'd like to see.
And the predictions are usually fairly general. They're wide sweeping. So, you know, if someone says the market's going to go up and someone believes it, you know, they're going to make their decisions based on that when, you know, it changes from area to area. There's so many nuances, and it's just very difficult to make predictions. So we stay very far away from predictions.
We stay far away.
All right, and we will end it off with one nice comment here.
Make it a good one.
So at BBRYY says, finally a great video, Santo. we've made over 600 videos.
600?
We've made over 600 videos so far.
Finally got a good one. Which one was that one?
I'm not sure which one this came from, but I know it came recently, so we finally did it. Good job.
Awesome. Good job to you. You know, folks, we really appreciate the support on YouTube. It's more than we ever thought that, you know, people would be interested in listen to what we got to say. I try to jump in there as often as I can to handle the comments as they come in. It's just, you know, time many times is of the essence, and it is a commodity that quickly, you know, disappears. And sometimes we just can't. So we'll take a few moments here to answer and deal with some of these comments and questions. So thank you for joining us.
Yes, and that was our video for today. Thank you so much again for joining us. If you're watching this on the Sunday, enjoy Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right.
And yeah, we'll be back soon. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Before I forget, leave more comments because we will be doing more of these videos. So leave more comments in the comment section down below. We'll pick the ones we like and answer them on this show.
There you go.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good one. You can find a different cup.
What's wrong with it?